Is there any reason to believe at 877-881-1053? There's not only no reason to believe, there might be no reason to trade. Where are we with that? Dak Prescott was asked about it last night. If trading for a player can add a boost, I hope. He then said, I trust and I like the guys we have. I honestly do. That's not just a political answer. Our roster's okay. Can it be better? That's for you guys to write about and judge. On his message to the locker room, forget a trade, do more. Step up and shut that talk up. After 8 games, I think we've seen enough to know the truth about this football team. And Dak Prescott's a great leader. He's not going to crack unless he's talking about refs after that one Niners loss. But I think if you gave Dak a truth serum right now, he would say what he said on the sideline last year when Cooper Rush was out there playing. And he leaned over to Trey Lance. Remember that? He said, we bleep and suck. Yep. And before the words were out of Dak's mouth, Trey Lance said facts. That's really where we're at right now. It's just an abomination. And, obviously the offense struggled yesterday. I think this is still a top 5 offense, but not nearly enough to make up for what that defense is putting them in.
There's just so much pressure on it. You hate to say it. It almost has to be perfect. They have to be perfect with they can't have any penalties. I mean, and things just set them back. And this defense and just the fact that when you go out there on the field, you know that. You just know that, we can't have a turnover here because any sudden turnover is going to end up to be 7 points. Or, it's just a tough way to operate if you're a play caller, if you're the quarterback, anybody involved with this offense. You can't drop a ball, can't miss a block, because if you do, it might be the one opportunity you have to get points because your defense is so poor right now. There's no easy way about it right now.
No, it's not, and it's not fun at all. I think the narrative continues for me, or the trajectory continues for me, that this could be the worst era of Cowboys football that we've seen over the last 15 years or so. You were half decent, winning the division basically every other year under Garrett. You won it 3 times in a row under Mike McCarthy, but now this drafting has gotten so bad, and we know the Cowboys have not been a team that sees free agency as any sort of a solution.
Yeah, that's the problem.
If they just want to play this thing year in and year out, I don't know, because I feel like you're probably looking at multiple good drafts in a row before you even have hope for this defense. There's just way too many holes in it, and by the time we get there, who knows what Dak his career status is going to be. It's possible he plays into his late 30s at a very high level. It's also possible that over the next couple of years he has another injury and the end comes suddenly, as it did for Tony Romo. So I would love to be a fly on the wall up there at the Star right now. Friday I was saying go trade for multiple players and put yourself in contention. Today I feel like it's got to be, if we make any trade, it's got to be for the short term, but more than that, for the medium to long term. Like, you are totally out of a rent-a-player situation.
I think to me, if you're going to do this, if the thought is like, okay, we're just going to try and fix a couple of things, I don't know if I'm necessarily on board. Where I am on board, though, is if you swing big and go get something big and a couple of big things, and then turn that into something that's more long-term.
Yeah.
Okay, you go get a couple of, say, like we were talking about earlier, a couple of all-pro pieces. Now you start to build around that. And people say, well, damn, you had an all-pro in Micah Parsons. Well, they got mad at Micah. Micah got mad at them. It didn't work out.
It's what you do now.
It is, yeah. Don't worry. I mean, hey, it's now water under the bridge. I'm watching him right now play against Pittsburgh Steelers. So
he was triple teams.
He was nasty last night.
So, but that's what I'm saying, though. To me, this team has made the decisions they have. But if they're going to just say, oh, we're just go trying to find a safety that's somebody's backup safety that's, just a special teamer, and then think, oh, we'll plug him in and that'll be different. I'm not interested in doing that.
Yeah, you can't be doing Mingo 2.0.
Yeah.
You can't be trading a 4th-round pick for a player that's healthy and is inactive when he's able to come back off IR. Yeah. This needs to be go get Myles Garrett from Cleveland, who had 5 sacks yesterday and is pitching and whining, and that's his own damn fault because he requested a trade, then took the money and stayed there. But now all of a sudden you got a Cleveland team that's going nowhere Does that open up the doors for a trade conversation for Myles Garrett? You've got to swing for big fish. Like the Quinnen Williams move, love it. Max Crosby, stay on the phone. Trey Hendrickson, not interested anymore.
Yeah,
he's hurt.
The back thing bothers me about. And
he's
then
hurt, and he's
not
on
long term.
You got to get it either an extension done or it's not worth it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do an expiring move.
No.
I'm trying to do something that can help me now, and it's not even about salvaging this year.
Nope.
I think that's what fans hear. Like if you're making a trade, it's about we're trying to. If it helps this year, awesome.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not just help now. I'm trying to check off a box. You got so much to rebuild on defense. At least I've got one thing that I've taken off the plate that I can move into the offseason and say I've got at least this player, maybe two, that now I can move forward with, and now I've done a little bit of something.
Especially if you keep your one or the Packer one. Now you add a defensive player, say, then you go get the big fish, then you maybe add another big fish. Now you got three. Now you've had an off season so far.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got your team, and that's not to mention, with some of the other things that you potentially can do.
Yeah, this team's drafting track record is just not good enough with defensive players to believe that with their next 4 first-round picks that they have over the next 2 drafts, that they'd even bat 500 with that.
Yeah, it's just unproven, and I love the draft. Like I'm going to be so excited to us talk about having 2 1s if they don't do anything, and we're going to scout and watch these players and be pumped, but there's no guarantee. They could be taking another Taco Charlton, could be another Mozzie Smith. You don't know what you're going to end up getting there. If I can get a proven stud, I'd still do that.
Yeah, and we need to see really for signs of encouragement the younger guys figuring it out, which I believe we're getting with Ezeraku right now. Since week 4, maybe he's top 10 in PFF edge grade for all players, not just rookie grades. He's the second best rookie behind Abdul Carter rushing the passers, but he's maybe showing some signs that he can be that guy. And then what's Revel going to show us here as I guess coming out of the bye, he'll get activated and play against the Raiders, but fingers crossed that it's at least has the ability to be a starting level corner. That would help big time for optimism for next year, because right now it looks like there's just way too many holes to have even an average defense next season. What'd you guys think of the decision to punt on 4th and 5, down 13 from your 44?
Hated it.
After already surrendering 30 to the Broncos. What was this, late third quarter?
Yeah.
So they had 2 more touchdowns to go, and I think they got one immediately on that drive that basically ended the game. That's a must-go-for-it situation.
You can't punt. You can't punt. I mean, we were talking about when they were at their own, I think it was 29, and it was 4th and 1. Like, should you consider doing this, or is that too risky right now? You just you know that your defense is not giving any resistance.
No.
It's 30-17. You're in a part of the field where you should go for it there.
And Bo Nix is not like a turnover player. You're not hoping for a turnover. Like, for all the things you wish Bo Nix did better, his turnover-worthy plays is top 10 in the league. Like, he's doing a really good job managing risk for that football team. So you're not going to stop him. You're getting run all over. Franklin looks like a Pro Bowler out there, and you're operating with a quarterback